I'm back, Max 3.0. I'll crush you. Well. We have seen what really transpired and what happened in the race. We have now realized, or rather, everyone now in F1 world has seen and should now accept that the problem is Max, not other drivers. Why is it that Max is the one always in the crashes when an opponent is trying to beat him? Every time Max has an opponent who is strong, the crash will begin. This is not the beginning. This is not the end. This is the beginning. We will see more of these crashes coming on because we have seen that Lando Norris is strong and is coming up real strong. So we believe these crashes will come because Max does not allow any driver to pass him or to overtake him, or rather he refuses to be beat by any other driver. So what does he do? He races rough. He tries to bully other drivers. Now, this is one thing that other drivers must learn. They must now understand that Max is just a bully. He has taught even Perez to be a bad driver, like him, always also involved in crashes with other drivers. We have seen how Perez races against Lewis. He also tries to hassle Lewis because he learned it from Max. It's like two people that gang against someone. It's not race, but it's just bad driving. That is why the rules indeed have to be changed. The rules have to really be hard. They must give a strike against a driver's license. Points must be given for bad driving so that these drivers will receive rest bans, and if it's too much, they must be kicked out of F1 because this driving of Max is not acceptable. Some say this is the kind of racing we want. It's interesting. No, it's not. We cannot have bullies on track that think the track belongs to them. F1 belongs to them. You want to become bigger in F1, you want to just beat the record of Lewis Hamilton or any other F1 driver, and you choose to become a bad driver like that. That is not acceptable. Now that Max has seen that other cars are becoming strong, other teams are becoming strong, what does he do? He panics. And this panic, look where it's now going. Just look at the news. Go to social media. Check what they're saying. Many have seen. The only people that are in denial are the very fans of Max. They cannot accept it. They still deny it. It is what we see right here. Example. We saw the debate, Trump versus Biden. We saw who was really clobbered in that debate. But those who are in denial will deny it. It's what we see even in F1. Listen to what Adrian Stella said about this incident.
Needs to fix racing rules to avoid another 2021. Clarence says action must be taken in response to Austrian GP incidents if F1 is to avoid return of 2021 type controversies. Formula One should seek to fix clear flaws with the racing rules that emerged from the Austrian Grand Prix, reckons McLaren boss Andrea Stella. He thinks such action is essential if F1 is to deliver a good spectacle on track, rather than the kind of controversies that famously marred the 2021 title battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Stella saw his driver Lando Norris eliminated from the Austrian GP after a late race collision with Verstappen, who the Briton had been battling with for several laps. But their clash on lap 64, which Verstappen was given a 10-second penalty for, was not the only aspect of the race that has left McLaren feeling things needed to be handled better by the F1's governing body. He believes that the FIA should have been tougher on Verstappen's moving under, braking earlier in the race, that common sense should have been applied for Norris getting a track limits penalty after running wide following a failed overtake, and that Verstappen's punishment for the coming together did not fit the crime as he still came away from the race with his championship lead extended. Stella believes there are enough grounds from the incidents for F1 to conduct a deep dive into the issues at play and work out ways to avoid such battles in the future, ending in more Crashes. This race has given us a lot of good information to fix some of the aspects which are needed to go racing in a way that we can enjoy this kind of battle until the checkered flag, explained Stella. For me, it's a big shame that we didn't see the last 6 or 7 laps, because they would have been quite entertaining. They were not entertaining because simply the rules were not enforced. It would have been enough to give Max the warning for moving under braking, like a black and white flag, so don't do it again, and he would have been much more prudent in closing the door on Lando. Then, when it comes to track limits, I think if the track limit is because you're trying to overtake somebody and you lock a little bit, then I'm wondering what kind of racing are we going to have if this is enforced in this way? Drivers will not even attempt to overtake, because, oh, it will cost me one of the 3 strikes I have available. This one I think can be easily resolved. We are not upset about this. We think it is wrong, but it's important that it's addressed for the future, because we want to see a distinction between track limits that are genuine, because you're trying to take an advantage in terms of racing line, and track limits that come with a big loss of advantage because you went off and they have to do with the racing man-over that we all enjoy.
Did you hear that? It should have been fixed way back, and it's true. 2021, the rules should have been set. If you race like that, you are the cause of the crash. The penalty that these drivers get, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, is not enough. 10 seconds doesn't do anything. 5 seconds doesn't do anything. They must get a strike against their driver's license so that they can miss a race or be kicked out of Formula One. Because if FIA allows such nonsense, it's not just gonna end, it's just gonna get worse. Imagine, like I say, that other drivers, they must now pull up their socks, start racing rough against Max. If other drivers start racing like him, I mean, it's no longer Formula One. So that's why I'm saying they must be a strike on the driver's license. So I want to hear your comments right below. Share this video because this is something that has to be talked about. This is something that has to be news in F1. Fix this now before we go to the next races. Let the rules change. You see that? FIA, I don't know what's up with FIA. The same mistake. Let's go to Lewis versus Sainz. What happened? Lewis had to give back to the place, or else he was going to get a penalty. Fast forward. Look at that. That is acceptable. This is not acceptable. Really? Really? Look at this. You are telling me that this is acceptable? No penalty, no threat of penalty, no giving back the place was told that Max should give back the place. Why was Lewis told to give back the place? So we have a problem that Max is not getting the punishment he deserves. And indeed, the rules should specify and should change that if you are the cause of an accident and your opponent is out, they must give a drive-through plus 10 seconds stop. No servicing, drive-through, 10 seconds stop, and then go. That is about 30 seconds. That's what we need. That's what we need. But even that may not be enough because your opponent doesn't score points. So you must be in a position you also don't score points. Or the rules should just say if your opponent is out and is not going to score points, you are disqualified too. If I was a trillionaire, I would offer 1 trillion to buy Formula One, and I would change the rules to exactly that. I think would be fair. Your opponent is out, you are the cause, you are disqualified. So none of you score and gain an advantage. This has to change. This would have been fixed way back. Today, we wouldn't have becoming 3.0 because for him, he will crash, he will bully other drivers. He must learn a lesson that you don't own Formula One. You are not the king of the track. You should not be allowed to become a bully. He must be stopped. This is not acceptable. Even the team stands by his side, which is just ridiculous. Let's see what you think in the comments.